got some good stuff to share with you. And first of all, Happy New Year. I think that 2017 was great, but 2018 is going to be awesome. So Happy New Year to all of you guys. Thank you for being here today. We're going to cover a bunch of stuff. Before I forget, at the end, those of you that are selling segregated funds and ROP, come see me at a table over there. I've got something for you here for your clients. In the meantime, let's cover what we've done already in Vancouver and Edmonton. You are the biggest room so far. There's over 200 people here tonight, so give yourself a round of applause. And that's why you guys got dinner and the others got sandwiches. Keep it up, that's good. And I'm going to cough a little still with me. Tonight we're flying to Regina. We have a little group in Regina tomorrow. We're doing Toronto on Friday, so it's great to be able to see all of you in the same week. Let's talk about this. And I always start with that slide. Some of you have seen this before. A koi is a little fish. And you put the little fish in a fish bowl and it goes 3 inches. You put it in a bigger, larger tank, it grows to 9 inches. You put it in a pond, it grows 18 inches. But if you put it in a lake, it grows 3 feet. So the koi is our money. If you believe that you're worth 40, 50, 60,000 a year, that's exactly what you're getting. And what I'd like to do tonight is to try to get us outside of the little fish bowl, outside of the larger tank. I even think that we are playing as a company right now in a larger tank. We're not in the pond. We're not in the lake either. We're not in the ocean. With 1,200 reps in the West Zone, we're tiny. We need to grow to 5,000, 10,000. Your income needs to go to 2, 3, 500,000 to $1 million a year, because we've got people doing it now. So why not all of you? I think that we have a disease. It's in our head. We think too small. We doubt everything. We quit too fast. And that's what we need to change. And that's my subject today. So where do you want to be in 3, 5, 10 years from now? You know, what kind of car you want to drive? Oh, some ladies are excited. Where would you like to travel? You know, there's so many things to do. There's so many places to go. There's so many people to help. Why do we limit ourselves to the little stuff we're doing? We can do so much more. If you guys could have done it during the holidays, if you had the extra 1, 2, 3, 5, 10,000 bucks, would you have helped more people during the holidays? You know, in Toronto, I don't know how it is here. In Toronto, we have 89 shelters for homeless people, and it's not enough. It's crazy. So I'm going to talk about money a little bit, but it's not money for money. It's money to do something good with it. Does that make sense? Yes. It's helping our parents. They've invested 25, 30 years in us. If you still have your parents alive, how about doing something for them? Or your brothers and sisters, or the community, or your church, or yourself, traveling, having fun, giving to your spouse, you know, treating the kids with some stuff they like. I mean, there's so many things we can do. So this is the biggest industry in the world. And insurance and investment is the biggest. Coffee is not the biggest. Oil is not the biggest. The company has great compensation. We probably have one of the best compensation in this country. So it's not the industry. It's not the com. We have great products. You guys know that already. So it's not the product either. Geez, what's left? The company has lots of people winning. So it's not the fact that everything is great, but we don't have any winners. Let me share some numbers with you. And you know, some of them are here in the room. Darren made over $320,000 last year. Darren, are you there? Mark paid 340. Mark was in Edmonton today. Mark, are you here? 340. We have people in Ontario. We have people in BC. Joel is a sales leader in Toronto, and he made $500,000 last year. He's an SL. James and Norma in Regina, $660,000 last year. $50,000 a month. And you guys know James. I mean, if he's doing it. Are you guys feeling this? Derek, $660,000 last year. Derek, is he here? Yeah. Derek? $600,000 for the look and $60,000 for the business. So great job. RJ, almost $700,000 last year. RJ's not here, he's in Australia. Perry, $1,020,000. Second full year with us. Second, not second decade, not 2 centuries, 2 years. So, geez, it's not this. Number one in the room in the company, I believe, is Anton and Angie with $1.1 million. $1.1 million. That's pretty darn good. Okay, let's go back to my slide. Geez, if it's not the industry, it's not the com, it's not the products, and it's not that the fact that nobody's winning, because we have winners, plus a lot of you, then there's only one choice. Geez, it's you and me. We are the problem. We need to change. We need to think differently. We need to think out of the box. We need to stop being in a fish tank. The company wants to do 2,500 recruits this year. We need to double recruiting. It was never done before. We need to double recruiting. Last year, we didn't double recruiting at all. We stayed flat. We grew production last year, whatever, 40 million or whatever. This year, we want 50 million. So this is going to happen. We need to work on this, and this is new. Ray has been talking about paying you guys 100 million to the field. In order to do 100 million, we need to have 1.3 million average of sales per week. I think it's doable. And I think it's doable if it's not this year, maybe next year, but it's doable quickly. Why? Because all we have to do is to work on the first number. If we double, triple, quadruple us, we can double, triple, quadruple everything else. Make sense? Yes? What about the rest of you, yes? Yes! The rest of you is bigger than you, so. Here's the challenge. At what level are we competing? Are we competing at the local level? My goal is to beat the guy next door. Are we competing at the regional level? You know, it's only us in Calgary. Are we competing at the provincial level now? We include Edmonton and Red Deer and all those great places. Or are we daring to challenge everybody else at the national level? Are we willing to beat all the guys in other provinces too, all the ladies? And then there's the international level. And this is for sport, but it's the same thing. The first two, there's nothing happening there. You know, it's just recreational. It's just I'm going to show up when I want to. I'm not going to all the meetings. It has to fit my schedule. Then when you hit provincial, that's a little bit more serious. Okay? Your kids, if they're competing at the provincial level and they rank top 3, it's getting better. And then of course, national and international, those guys are truly 100% committed. Athletes will eat only the right stuff. They're going to hang out with the right people. They're not going to do any of the crap that normal people do. That's why they're here. What about us? What level are we at? You see, the local and regional, they only train 1, 2, 3 times a week. They only help 1, 2 families once in a while. And then eventually these guys, you do a little bit more, and a little bit more, and you end up down here, and you've got teams helping 50, 100, 150, 200 families a week. How big is your team? How many people are we helping? Are we truly having an impact in the community? Locals show up once in a while. Regionals show up once in a while. They're not on every webinar. No, they choose. You have a meeting on Monday, the DL does something, they don't show up all the time. These guys are serious. And I think that if we want to win for ourselves and our families, I think we need to raise the bar. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Winning is winning. Nobody's going to lower the bar to allow somebody else to win. We have to push ourselves a little bit more. There's always a price to pay. Maybe, you know how it works, right? If you have too much fun today, chances are you're not going to have much fun later. There's a price to pay. And that's what I want to cover today. So we all want to win. We all want to be, to be on the highest place on the podium. Some of these guys are from here, by the way, in Calgary. This is Boulder, Toronto. The U.S. swimmers, right? Everybody wants to win. My challenge is, are we willing to pay the price? How long did it take her to do this? 15 years of falling and breaking her knees and hurting herself, and then she won. Are we willing to do that? Same thing with these guys. Shoulder surgeries and stuff. They're all the same. These guys train 30 hours a week to do exactly the same thing. We all know about him. So I know we all want to win. It's natural to have a desire to win. This is Penny from Toronto. We need to set goals. And Ray's going to talk about that later. We need to set specific, clear goals. Not 500, 2 or 3 goals. Maybe you want to write that down. Maybe you want to say, hey, my income goal is this year. Oh, but Jerome, I only made 40,000 last year, but I'd like to make 200. Can you go from 40 to 200 in 1 year with us? And the answer is yes. Get out of the fishbowl mentality. At a job, you go from 40 to 45. When you have a business, you go from 40 to 200. And from 200 to 500. I know it's crazy, that's how it is. And then have a specific time to achieve it. A goal needs to have a deadline. And then write your goals down and make sure you share your goals with everybody else. Tell your spouse, oh, but Jerome, my spouse is not supportive. I know why, because you have failed the last 4 times you said something. That's how it is. If you had achieved your goals before, your spouse would be supportive. But because we didn't, they don't trust us anymore. They don't say, they think, it's not going to work. Well, do it again. Develop a plan to reach your goals. Decide what price you're willing to pay. I shared that on Monday on the call, but it matters to me. My son is a pretty good athlete. He was 102nd in the world 3 years ago, 71 2 years ago, 35 last year. And he realized a year ago that when he's on the blocks competing with the best in the world, okay, the top 3, 5, 10, he's 35, he's not top 10, that he loses confidence. He starts shaking a little bit. He loses focus. So he went to see a sports psychiatrist, and they ended up, after many sessions, he realized, I need to gain my confidence again when I swim with those guys if I want to beat them. Otherwise, I will never beat them, okay? Because it's mental. It's not physical, it's mental. So they agreed that he needs to learn to play guitar. I know, it's weird. Guitar will calm him down. He cannot think about the sport. You can't think about anything else when you play guitar. So he learned to play guitar 2 or 3 hours a day. Where do you find 2 or 3 hours a day when you have no time? Well, he found some time. No more TV, zero TV, and zero games. Nothing. It's been a year, and he's doing well. And he plays guitar. Unbelievable. So during the holidays, he was there, just playing guitars. I was crying to see that. That a 21-year-old can make a decision to quit all the crap because he wants to win. Does that make sense? Yes. What about us? What are we willing to give up in order to achieve our goals? Think about that. This morning, some people said, I'm going to quit Facebook. I said, great job. It's a bunch of crap on Facebook. Who cares what your friends ate last night? We don't care. Seriously. Some people said, I'm going to wake up earlier. Instead of 7, I'll wake up at 6. Instead of 6, I'll do 5:30. And this morning I shared the story of a guy I know in his 30s that he watches TV every night until midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. But in the morning, you can't wake up at 5 or 6 and take care of your baby because you went to bed at 1. So it's funny how we are, because he puts those movies ahead of the baby. That's what it is. Your babies will be babies only for a short period of time. Hurry up. Get with them. Get on your knees. So it's weird. What are you willing to give up to make $500,000 a year this year? What are you willing to give up to build a team of 50 people this year? Because that's what the winners do. And of course, focus on reaching your goals every day. We didn't have time today, but when we come back in a month or so, we'll bring goal cards. On one side will be the company goals. I showed you 3 numbers. 2,500 recruits, 50 million, pay you guys 100 million. On the other side, it's your goals. 3 goals, not 500. And you keep it in your pocket and you look at it every day. And that's what winners do. They are obsessed with achieving something. We always say, leave the left side, go on the right side. Right? Because on the right side is freedom. On the right side is quality of life. Well, are you teaching sales or are you teaching growth? Are you teaching sales or are you teaching growth in your business? I know the answer. Most of us are teaching sales. And I understand. What if we change that a little bit? What if we tweak it a little bit? What if now we have another mindset of duplicating ourselves? Yes, we're there to help people, absolutely. But wouldn't you agree that helping somebody make an extra $100,000 a year is also helping people? Yes or yes? Yes. So what about that? To the world you may just be one person, but to that person that you bring in, you may just be the world. I know lawyers that hate their jobs. I know doctors that are tired. I know cab drivers that would love to be here. There's a bunch of students in Calgary that have no place to go after a degree. Let's get them here. There's a ton of people that would benefit from this. Why? Biggest industry in the world. We have people winning, great product, great comp, great everything. Why not? What about you get 3 people? I don't know, this month? Maybe this quarter if it's too scary. Not this year, that doesn't make sense. What about you do 3? Just do 3. And teach those 3 to do 3. And this is what happens this summer. And let's do it again. This is new. You don't live in a fishbowl anymore. You left the fishbowl. You're not the tiny koi. You have a desire to grow. Okay? And you tell yourself, I'm going to duplicate myself. I'm going to teach somebody else. And you get 3, and they get 3, and they get 3, and only cacapoop, that's your team. 40, 50 people by the summer. Let me do it again. Let's This is exciting. Okay, no, let's go slow. You leave the fishbowl mentality, and you say, I deserve to make 2, 3, 500,000 a year. Everything is great. I'm the challenge. I need to change. And you get 3, and they get 3, and they get 3, and holy moly, that's your team. Some of you are in the fishbowl, I see it in your eyes. But you're teaching your kids to dream big. We need to do the same thing. Oh, but Jerome, you don't understand. This is my 6th career. Nothing worked before. Exactly, I do understand. So this is your last one, and you have to make it work. Oh, but Jerome, you don't understand. I love this, but I like other things too. It's not better elsewhere. Stop thinking that way. It's not true. This is probably the best thing around. I know I've been doing a bunch of things too. And I work with all the insurance companies and investment firms. What we have is special. So,